listening to. Check this out. Check it out.
And this is
What's up? This is Big Will Smith. Hey, check this out, man. This is your boy Control. Listen around, man.
Hi, this is Hilal.
What up? This is Lupe Fiasco.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Wiz Khalifa. 36 Papa. This is Kings of Leon. Hi, this is Lionel Richie.
Look at my forehead. My forehead they shine like. See, I use granite rub. What's that?
This is Fleece and chili peppers.
Well, ask Kalajai if ask Kalajai to check this audio.
My name is Frank Idemudia Alapa. That's my name. Talking sports, Margaret. And I am the great. I love listening to Elevated TV radio for undiluted, unadulterated. It's probably replicated, but still not yet duplicated. It's sports only on Elevated TV radio. I seriously love listening to it.
Hello, everybody. What's up, people? My name is Timmy Dakolo, and you're listening to Elevated TV radio. Stay tuned.
Elevated TV radio. Redefining broadcasting. Listen. You are listening to Elevated TV radio. Elevated
Hey,
TV
solution that they brought. Alpha.
radio.
Better person.
This is radio like you never heard before.
So it's TV now. I think it's on News Central. So where you there again? Afro Sports or News Central. Oh God.
This is radio like you never heard
One of the
before.
finest.
Elevated
Nigeria
TV
Info.
radio.
No, it's not Nigeria. Inspiration is there.
Wonderful radio.
I have to do a double look and then you. So look fantastic guy. And then a very nice human being. Yeah. All right, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elevated TV Radio. Forgot that my mic was on. I forgot that my mic was on. Sometimes it happens, right? So good morning, everybody. How you doing? And I know so you're watching on YouTube. It's not morning where you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever the time is. Thank you for joining us. Let's have some fun. It's going to be fun. Emmanuel Sebastian, if you're on Instagram, you'll be seeing Emmanuel Sebastian on the other side. Emmanuel Sebastian is here. That means fun. And for those of you already asking for my angels, they came late today, and they have to understand what lateness means in broadcasting. Okay, so they will be observing. Behind Emmanuel is that beautiful businesswoman behind Emmanuel. You can't see her, but she's there. So they're already asking after them. That's Joy Bassi on green, and that's awesome. It's actually front face. Like saying, I may make a comment. Shift out of my face. I didn't talk about that. Come on, get out of here. No, get away, you. Okay, so let's get in on the show. So, on Tuesday, how it is, this young man sitting opposite me here, Emmanuel Sebastian is here. He's a Liverpoolian, and he's feeling high right now because for them, they just, know how to do all the transfer business. Why did Liverpool do that last season? I don't know, but they've gone back to the Jurgen Klopp way. And everything seems to be going exactly the way they wanted. Players have left. That's excess baggage. They've convinced the ones that are remaining to stay. They've given the captain's armband to Virgil van Dijk. That's also where one of the things that I'm going to talk about. But there's so much on the plate to talk about. I really don't even know where to go. There is the Osimhen conundrum. You are expected, all of you guys, who before the Falcons went to the World Cup, everybody expected them to fail. Now that they've qualified from the group, okay, a large number of Nigerians expected them to fail. And the wardrobe to face, even the NFF officials, from their body language, okay, from their secret covert conversation on WhatsApp group, they wanted him to fail so that they just fire him. Now, the man is refusing to fail. And it's got England, most likely England, China, or Denmark in front of him, but most likely England to play in the round of 16. I just say hypothetically Nigeria beats England and gets to the quarterfinal. That's going to be a very tough task because England is pre-tournament favorites, and the way the draws are done, England they are European champions. England will not meet US until the finals. But then they've got this tough part where they might cross path with France, they might cross path with some tough countries anyway. Nigeria is looking like one easy meet for them. And they're going to, if it is England or playing in the round of 16, it's going to be an easy take. They will stay where they've been playing in their base, and Nigeria will have to travel to go and meet them since Nigeria didn't top the group. They needed just one goal. Assistant Oshoala, please score the goal for us so that we'll stay in Brisbane. For where Assistant Agbabola no green. Score and take off your jersey again for us. Agbabola no green. And God will judge Assistant Oshoala. She's been stingy with this offering of jersey thing. I don't like it. But whatever it is, you need to, if you add the rate, the Super Falcons performance so far, give us what you think about it. And we went to sleep yesterday, and then we woke up. Then first we went to sleep, and then we woke up. We did a show. After the show, the news started filtering in like bus pipeline in the Niger Delta. The thing just spread, waiting for who will strike fire on her. And we heard that Hilal, that deliberately terminated, refused to agree to terms with Jude Igalo because they were hoping that Lionel Messi was a done deal. Lionel Messi was coming, but they didn't understand that Lionel Messi had other plans. So the money that they were supposed to give to Lionel Messi, they've now decided, you know what, let's go for a younger version of Odio Igalo because we cannot lose Odio Igalo and go get substandard. So let's go get somebody from the line and the tribe of the Igalos and a dope boy from Nigeria. Go get him and let's see what happens. So they put up $1 million a week. Listen, guys, if you don't understand, £1 million a week, that's 52 million pounds in a year. And a 5 years contract, a 5 years deal on the table. Now, my constellation, my worry, my conversation here is if you are Victor Osimhen or a family member, this deal is on the table. And what would you do? What would be your position? How would you go about it? Would you still say, no, I want to stay in Europe, I want to win Champions League? Remember, Harry Kane have been in Europe since, has not won a pin. And there are quite a lot of other players like that have been in Europe. Staying in Europe does not guarantee anything. Osimhen have already won the league in Italy, something that looked impossible when you play for Napoli. He's already won the league, he's already won the highest goal scorer, and he can end his career right now. He will still be called a success, but he's 24 years of age. Some people say if he goes to Saudi Arabia, he might not play for the Super Eagles again. Would you rather stick with attackers that play for West Rangers playing at Rangers?
Yeah.
Taiwa when he play for Nottingham Forest, okay, that's a good one. And the other ones that are scattered across, Onuachu is in the championship. Would you rather stick with those ones and neglect an Osimhen that plays because he plays in Saudi Arabia? Because they still call Cristiano Ronaldo to the Portuguese national team. So all of these are some of the conversation we're going to have. And then the NPFL. Jesus Christ. Oh Lord, my business center. So the NPFL, you all know, is my business center. Hey, I hope that the engineers that are working on this our light will not kill this show today. That's my prayer. But let's just focus on what we're doing first. Somebody go and talk to Kanijaye. What's going on with the light? Let me know. And as I look into that conversation, my first thought is we don't know. The NPFL obviously will start on the 25th of this month. This is August, which is exactly 3 weeks from now. The Premier League is also starting in 3 weeks' time. Many things like that. But there is the possibility that we're not going to have the full format. There's a different format. They say that because of marketing and financial reasons or the current realities in the country, we might not have that 38 games, 380 games. But what is one thing that everybody have agreed on is that the Super 6 alongside the Super 8 have shown that this is what Nigerians like. This is what excites Nigerians. So they want to retain that same format. But this time around, instead of 18 games, they want to play 30 games in the season, and then the top 6 come to Lagos or pick any venue and go and play a Super 6. Yeah. Right? How do you let's make sense of all of this? And guys, if you're watching out there, whether on Instagram or on YouTube, please join in on the conversation. Nigeria our own, Falcons our own, Osimhen our brother, all this conversation. And then Harry Kane and Tottenham Hotspur and Bayern Munich are close to a deal. They are close to getting something through the finish line. All these ones are many more. And then one small question that I want to throw to Arsenal fans. If Raya, what is his name other than David Raya? If David Raya sounds like somebody's name that is in the cartoon animation movie anyway. But if David Raya he signed for 40 million to Arsenal. Would he come in as a backup? Now let me lay the foundation. Aaron Ramsey made more mistake leading to shots on goal last season than any other goalkeeper in the Premier League. David Raya have the third best distribution in the Premier League last season. Way better than Aaron Ramsdale. The way Arteta wants to play is predicated on a goalkeeper that can play from the back and build for the team. So all of these are on ground. But I'm going to throw this button today. I'm going to just be your analyst, sit here and have fun and enjoy the show. My man, the Liverpoolian. Let me start with the Liverpool conversation. Virgil van Dijk is your captain. Trent Alexander-Arnold is your assistant captain. Now, but you look at last season, these two people were the two major problems. Are we going to have the shift of Harry Maguire from Manchester United to Liverpool? Because when you make these two people captains, captain and vice captain, you're practically guaranteeing them a regular starting shirt. And you know that not too many people come back from ACL injury and be as good as they used to be. Virgil van Dijk, your captain. Is that satisfactory to you?
Yeah, I think it is. Good morning to you and to everyone who's tuned in. I think Virgil van Dijk is always going to be the favorite to be the captain. It's not going to be an easy task.
Guys on YouTube, please let us know if you're getting the audio clearly, please.
It's not going to be an easy task. When your team lose your captain and your vice captain in the same window, you stepping in, it's always going to be difficult. And Virgil van Dijk is always going to be the favorite. He's a leader from the back, captains the national team as well. So yes, captaining Liverpool might be different, but he just possesses that leadership qualities and all that. So I really expected him to be named the captain. A lot of people have come out to say, Alisson, I don't know, goalkeepers being captain, you are rooted at your goal. You can't leave your goal to go meet the referee. You can't, you are restricted as a captain. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I don't know. But personally, for me, that's what I think. I think goalkeepers doesn't have that room to go and approach the referee. So Alisson is a good leader as well. In Liverpool, there's a leadership group amongst the squad.
Every club now have that.
Every club for now, they've lost Fabinho, they've lost Leonard, James Milner, they've lost Henderson. So now that leadership group is Alisson, Salah, Robertson, who's also captain of Scotland, is Virgil van Dijk. And I'm happy for Trent. Someday he's going to captain that club, Liverpool.
And even England
is going to captain that team. So, I like the fact that he's vice now, learning in the role, bedding in alongside other leaders and Virgil van Dijk. That vice captaincy team is always going to be long term. So Virgil van Dijk is not going to be there for 4-5 years. But Trent will be there. You can predict and say in the next 10 years. It's looking like he's going to be a one club man, Trent Alexander-Arnold, except one, astronomical bid comes in and all that. So I like the choices, and I'm wishing them the best. I am expecting a renaissance from Virgil van Dijk. He had a poor season. I don't want to throw that Maguire line, but something in me tells me this captaincy might just bring out the Virgil van Dijk that won the UEFA Player of the Year that we saw a couple of years ago.
As the worst award ever given.
Why?
Didn't deserve it.
Anyways, that's a couple of years ago.
Why did John Terry?
But he played well.
What was Virgil van Dijk at his peak of his power? Ever better than John Terry? Let's be very fair.
I won't say that. But
was he close? Was he close?
He was close. I won't say he's better, but he was close.
Was he better than Yapstam?
I didn't watch much of Yapstam.
Nemanja Vidic?
People talk about Nemanja Vidic.
Are you kidding me? If you talk nonsense, if you talk, I'm not gonna wait for Ogu. If you talk nonsense, yeah.
He's good.
If you talk nonsense, yeah.
Nemanja Vidic is a good defender. Okay, let me hear from you. Where will you put...
Somebody won't beat you now.
No. Leave away.
Slap your head, back of the head.
What would you say about Nemanja Vidic?
Nemanja Vidic good pass, the Virgil van Dijk. Who's do.
If you tell me Terry, Ferdinand, no brainer. I'll.
Vidic, Nemanja Vidic is better than Ferdinand. What are you saying? You're Manchester United fan. What are you saying? What's wrong with this boy?
Okay, tell me about qualities. And I know he's
So I'm going to see.
It's
I'm going to
aggressive.
leave. I'm going to leave this one for the audience. Audience, Nemanja Vidic, Virgil van Dijk, Rio Ferdinand. Who's the better? Are you kidding me? Like, are you joking right now?
I know Vidic has he's aggressive, he's fearless, he's a good.
So let me tell you one thing that Rio Ferdinand has got.
And
Rio Ferdinand have got way above a lot of people. Rio Ferdinand is another Stephen Keshi. Stephen Keshi was never the guy who goes into a tackle, but his ability to see the ball before anybody is awesome. That's exactly what Rio Ferdinand have got. He's got an intelligence that that belies people like Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce is not your fastest defender in his day, right? Was a bulky guy, but you don't easily get the ball away from him because there's a way he just sees the game very well. Same with Stephen Keshi. But the guy, the hard man, the guy who goes in, who's the showstopper, who makes sure, whoever you are, you're not going to get past, you're not going to get through. He came in and made everybody forgot that there was a guy called Yapsam who went to AC Milan after leaving Manchester United. That's the man. He was the rock of Gibraltar. He was, how do they pronounce that one again? Rock of Gibraltar? Yes, rock of Gibraltar. Forget, I'm speaking Robo right now. It was the solid rock that you can build on. It was that guy that Jesus said, Peter, upon this rock will I build my church and the gate of hell will not prevail against. It was that guy. It was the fence. It was the wall of Berlin. It was the China wall. Against every opposition. It made it easy for the team to go forward. It made it easy for Rio Ferdinand to be Rio Ferdinand and what's it called? Sawalu, they have something in common. They like to point their hand a lot. Sawalu, shy. God. The hand pointing governor, pointing everywhere and doing nothing. And then come on, give me extra tax now. But for work rate, functioning, you know how you have Cavallo and John Terry. And John Terry was the mopping stick. That's who Nemanja Vidic is. So I'm not saying that Virgil van Dijk is bad,
I know, yeah.
but good enough to go and become European Footballer of the Year. Rubbish award. Rubbish. No nonsense. Never give people like Baresi, Paulo Maldini, Rio Ferdinand, Yapstam, Cavallo. They never give them John Terry, European Footballer of the Year. You will give Nemanja Vidic. Football not bad. That's how bad football is. That a Virgil van Dijk will win European Footballer of the Year. That's how bad football is. Well, let's continue the conversation.
Anyway, we're talking about this captaincy. Like I said, it was a good.
Even Vincent Company better than Virgil van Dijk. Who would be Vincent van Dijk?
Okay, moving on. Fabinho, yes, his departure has been confirmed. Like we're talking about. So,
did they allow him carry the dog?
They should find a way.
But why was the dog even a problem in a country that they have lion, dragon, dinosaurs, and everything?
Even his unveiling, there was this thing about
tiger,
the tiger and all that. So I was wondering, like,
Fabinho was sweating on the inside. That guy almost shit on body.
I was like, if this transfer no one happened, not the dog, because it's the weirdest decision. Like, a dog hampering a transfer, but at the end of the day, it happened, and more reinforcements have been looked at. Big Pedro, if you're listening to me, Romelu Lavia, reject on now. You don't want to let me rest for a group the other day. I don't know if you saw the conversation.
I saw the conversation.
But that's a player that we're looking at, young guy at Southampton, and for me, if you ask me, I would prefer
somebody. Maduka Austin will beat you. He won't beat you. You see, that dude must be kidding me. Vidic is a beast of a defender in the class of John Terry, Yapstam, and Cannavaro. So learn.
I just feel that
I understand. You were watching. You were watching Paw Patrol. You're not watching football. In the time of it, you were watching Paw Patrol. Ice Cream Man. You were waiting for the Ice Cream Man. You used to go to Vincent where they show only one game, only Liverpool game.
Anyways, and a defender has been looked at. I mean, you're talking about DVD and his injury worries and all that. A defender has been looked at to come, add to the ranks and all that. Matip is not always fit. Joe Gomez, I think he'll play more as a right back this season. Konate can get injured here and there. I think VVD and Konate will start the season as the first choice centre back pairing and all that. And I expect a good season from Liverpool, and I hope they do well. Chelsea to start the season.
I'm going to ask you this question. Looking at the Liverpool fixtures, already first 10 fixtures, you guys got it's like very tricky banana peels kind of fixture. Do you think that this season your chances of making the top 4 is as clear as previous season before last season, or it's still shaky, like 50-50, you're not sure?
I won't say it's as clear, but I think there'll be a top 4. Playing in Europa League and the league. I won't see how they're going to handle it. We need more legs. More legs in that midfield, and it depends on how Klopp takes the Europa League. I mean, playing on Thursday, are you going to use your main players on Thursday and play on Sunday, knowing that some of these players are injury prone and all that? So, but if you ask me, I won't say it's clear, but I think they are going to be in the top 4, come the end of the season.
All right, it's your show.
All right, moving on. I mean, you started the show. Your intro is always great, and
I'm trying to improve on it. I'm trying
to improve on it.
Okay, so the thing about it is, I am still not a good presenter. So I'm the greatest football analyst in the world, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm still not a good presenter. I still think that there are some things about me as a presenter or as an interviewer that needs to improve. I don't know anything that I need to improve as an analyst. It not comes to me naturally. But as a presenter, I think like some just get some zen things that I just need to bring into my intro and my outro. I'm like, I'm still working on it anyway. Not easy.
Anyway, we're still watching. We're waiting to see how the improvements come along. But I mean, like I said,
I will. I promise you, I will.
Credit to where it's due. But you touched on, you gave some tips on the intro. Let's start with Osimhen now. I mean, that offer. Let's put it out there that 2 offers have already been rejected. It was 120 million euros rejected, and 140 million euros rejected as well. So
it's just 10 million euro short now.
So we hear ADL Aurelio De Laurentiis is looking at way above 150. And I mean, if these people can bid over 300 for Mbappe, the money is there to get to that level for Victor Osimhen. And I mean, he's also talking Napoli. His current contract ends in 2025.
That talk will not work. Forget that talk.
They wanted to extend, but so far,
forget that talk.
They've not agreed terms and all that. And I'm looking at Victor's. I mean, I was all over Twitter. People were saying, we shouldn't.
I made a post on Twitter. Did you see the comment? Jesus Christ!
He was like, that is a tempting offer, and I don't want to say I'm feeling for Victor Osimhen right now. The kind of tough decision that's in front of him, wanting to play in Europe. But talking about the Super Eagles, I think he's one player who will pardon if he goes to Saudi Arabia and he's still getting called up to the national team, because he's built that trust with the fan base of the Super Eagles. Those people watching the Super Eagles that recently. I think he's one player we can pardon. But I mean, Osimhen, looking at it, how would you handle this distraction? Let me call it a distraction. Now, he started the season. He played his first game in preseason. He scored, I think,
2 goals. 2 goals in 4.
2 goals, yeah. He scored one day. He was ruled out. I saw something that's why he was ruled out. But he started the season really well. Continued from where he left off, and this offer is coming in. What would you do if you are Victor Osimhen? How would you handle this situation?
So let's be very fair to the boy. He's 24. Osimhen is one of those that you cannot sit here and accuse of cheating. It's a kid, right?
From the trenches.
But Osimhen have also told us his mind. My mom would say that when people joke, be very mindful of what they say. That's them speaking their mind. Osimhen have told us that nobody should advise him anymore because many people who advise he will still do what is in his mind. Exactly. So as far as Osimhen is a dead case for me, I don't give him advice. I don't think I will go to his DM and say, Osimhen, do this. I'm done with that. Having said that, if I was Osimhen, I don't know if I'm ever going to be convinced that trophies are better than money. Especially when I am from Balablu country, Bulaba. If you come from a Bulaba country, you should focus on the money. Because anything is possible anytime. And it doesn't look like, things are going to get even better. Things are going to get less stressful for your family members and your generation. So I'm going to do the Oscar. Somebody has already done this before, shown the way. I'm just going to do the Oscar on this one. And a lot of people have their opinion. Any decision Osimhen take. If Osimhen goes to Bayern, people say, he should have gone to the Premier League. He's afraid of the Premier League. If he goes to the Premier League, it's a question of what club did he go to. Oh, his chances of winning is not high. He goes to Liverpool, he might not win a league title. Liverpool is not a club that wins the title every time. They win one title every 30 years. Osimhen is not going to be there for another 30 years. So you go to Liverpool now, you're not going to win a title. That's just the basic truth, okay? And you go to Manchester United, that club is still battling their demons. Manchester United have signed a 10 years biggest sponsorship deal ever, 900 million, which is 90 million per season. But still, all of that, the club is still in debt up to the tune of 1 billion. The club is still dealing with a whole lot of demons, and the ownership tussle is there. Then you go to Chelsea. They already have Jackson. I don't know what's going to happen. And they are still thinking of giving out Romelu Lukaku and then getting Dusan Vlahovic. So that's a balance of the black gold, an African player that is athletic, fast, powerful, and can score goal. And then you have a skillful player in Dusan Vlahovic. Whether he will fit in, that's what I don't know, because sometimes people like those players like Dusan Vlahovic just come across and feel like, you know what, I can't play second fiddle to this small African boy. You know, that superiority complex with white people. But then some just fit in very well and get it going. So I don't know what's going to happen. Any club in Europe that's going to pick him. So on that basis, then the worst case scenario is if he doesn't get any of this club to sign him on, and Paris St Germain, which is the most likely next destination, he's played in France before. He's played in Germany, even though he didn't play that much in Germany, but he's played in France before. Now, from Italy back to France, even though it's PSG, might look a little bit, I don't know if it is upward movement or it's same of the same, and all that. So for me, I'll take this money. I'll take the deal. It's hard, but I'll take the deal. Now, there's a flip side to it. I posted a video of Cristiano Ronaldo's teammate. When I said that, I was like, this is what Cristiano Ronaldo really have to deal with, right? Reminds me of when I first started this studio. Back when I was in Brilla, you go to the studio, everything is set. You don't bother about light, you don't bother about generator, you don't bother about whether UPS is working. Just get into that studio, your head is at rest. For now, I have to think about all of these things and everybody, right? So when I first started and we were doing the TSL, and sometimes we'll be here, we're waiting for one person who's stuck, Francis, who's stuck in the Ikorodu traffic, and we have to make adjustment. It was crazy. I almost packed up. You remember the story? And so when you take it to Saudi Arabia, you are dealing with a guy who's leaving Napoli, who has Farastella, Lobotka, Zobanguiza, Simeone, what's the other guy? All of these guys surrounding that deliver the ball on the plate. And you're going to play with Hal McLeod, who does not understand where a pass should be, the delicateness of a pass, the precision that is required to send a pass. My pastor friend, Pastor Femi Obawe, was telling me that if Osimhen go to Saudi Arabia, he will score 60 goals. I told him I will bet my 100 generation. Nobody can go to Saudi Arabia as a striker and score 60 goals, not even Ronaldo da Lima. The thing is,
the players are
there is not a player that can score 60 goals a season in Saudi Arabia. Because the thing about football is, as a striker, you have to look at your supply line, unfortunately. If your supply line is not good, there's a problem. Again, they sign by Nevers. Who are their defenders? Who's defending for them? You're still going to have, look, defending for them.
There's also CSO there.
So when you look at all of that, there is no balance to any of the team. They're just throwing big money on a few individual players to put 100 meters apart trees. Monkey no go fit jump. The trees are that far. Monkey no go jump. Okay, monkey go learn to humble himself and come down and look for food. Now, when the trees are closed, that monkey become very skillful. So you have to look at all of that as well as Osimhen. There's the devil in the details in this one. So it's not just a one-off curve like, oh, let's take it. Again, let's talk about success a little bit, because I was doing all of this permutation. I just know that this question will come up today. I was doing all of this calculation. Osimhen earns 100,000 euros right now as a Napoli player. Anyway, it goes across Europe. Paris St Germain, which is the likely source, if he stays at Napoli next season, he was going to be the one that will replace Mbappe, right? Which is his likely destination, can afford to pay him £250,000 a week every week, right? What does Osimhen really need to live a fulfilled life? That's one of the things that we have to look at. Osimhen is 24. Going to Saudi Arabia right now is not it. If you look only at the money, then $1 million, there's no African player that can turn down $1 million. But what does Osimhen need to live a fulfilled life? How much does he need to buy the house of his dream? How much does he need to start the business of his dream? How much does he need to put in, maybe, let's say, hypothetically, I'm not trying. Okay, let me not even do advert for anybody. Let's say there's an investment out there that you can put money on, and every year you get maybe 15 or 20%, depends on the volume, and you're rolling it over for the next 10 years. Osimhen can afford right now to put, by what he earns, to put say 500 million or a billion naira completely out there, and the money will be rolling over till he retires. And I'm not hoping that he's going to get injured, even though the injuries come here and then the way he plays. But then his game is getting refined and getting polished, which means that the injuries will be less. So what is he really going to do in Saudi Arabia? What exactly is he really going to do in Saudi Arabia? Is he securing the bag? I thought that once you sign a club in Europe, the bag is already secured. That's what I thought. That's my belief that I have about football. You get to a place where they are paying you 100,000 euros every week, which is 400,000 euros in a month, plus all the added bonus of goals, title wins, and progression in Champions League. And you still need Saudi Arabia to secure the bag, then the bag will never be secured. Honestly speaking, you can still go to Saudi Arabia and the bag will never be secured. Because all the people that have gone to Europe and played and even earned less, people have earned less in Europe and they secured the bag. So what is really this bag that you want to secure that you're going to Saudi Arabia for? That's no, forget about tax or no tax. That's not an issue. It's really
over 800 million euro.
It's not really. It's a billion, because in the pound. So let's put it at a billion. But you're converting to naira already. I don't even try to convert to naira because he will stay 9 months in Saudi Arabia or wherever he will spend his money there, buy a house in Dubai definitely or somewhere, and leave his girlfriend. His baby mama is German, so he might decide to stay in Germany. Okay, so the people that he will take care of are his families over here. And like I've always said, building big houses. Taribo was a good example. Building big houses also come back to haunt you. So you don't need all the big castles of houses in Nigeria. When you retire, maintaining it is even a problem. So just take care of them, set them up. And families of footballers always are the most reckless people because they think that the money will keep coming. So even if you set them up in business, they will still be wasteful. But set the people you need to set up well and do like Neymar, and then keep on going. Even Neymar did not earn $1 million a week. And he's done well for himself. In all of his greatness, Messi didn't earn $1 million. You think this Inter Miami is a business transaction? It's not a football transaction. It's a business, it's a retirement program for him. So I think Osimhen can still stay in Europe. Let's be very fair. His next deal, his next contract is going to be in the region of 250,000 a week. Either ways, that bag is secured. So when we're done with all the joke of, I can't turn down $1 million, truth be told, you can turn down $1 million and stay in Europe and earn well, and you still secure your bag.
I mean, it's going to be a tough decision for him. Like I said, right now, I think he's going to be consulting a lot of people. Anyways,
I don't think he needs to consult anybody. Exactly. But he has said he doesn't need anybody's advice. He will still do what is in his mind.
And I was like, trying to counter that and said, advice here and there. I don't need waiting in my mind to do. I don't know if you saw that.
Osimhen does not need anybody's advice.
But I mean, it's a huge temptation this morning, and the CAF award is coming.
That one is a foregone conclusion.
Had it been he had won this award, I would have said, okay, guys, just do. Anyway, it doesn't
even if he go to Saudi Arabia, that award
it doesn't even affect.
That award have Osimhen's name on it. Isn't it in Morocco?
Yeah,
I don't even know if I want to go there.
That award has been on it already. So, but I mean, we wait to see what his decision is going to be. If the contract talks with Napoli and his agent is going to prove successful, he gets to extend any higher wages and put a favorable release clause in this contract, because since ADL priced them out this summer,
you cannot have it all your way now. You can't have it all your way.
But there needs to be a favorable release clause in that contract.
Every club is trying to avoid the Mbappe situation. You want them to put what they should negotiate anyway is him and his agent will negotiate that one, and let's see how it goes.
All right, as it stands, 2 bids from Hilal rejected, 120 million euros, 140 million euros. Are they going to come back? And we'll wait to see how this one is going to pan out. Let's move on from Osimhen. Let's talk about some other transfers that happened. The other big one that happened was Chukwueze to AC Milan. Another transfer that broke the internet. I love the contents they put out so far for Chukwueze. Chukwueze, Osimhen, best of friends in the Italian Serie A. What's your take on that Chukwueze's move to AC Milan?
I just think that AC Milan exploited the reality that Osimhen and Chukwueze are best of friends. When they won the league, you saw him was live with Chukwueze. These people follow all of these things, and they feel like in getting Chukwueze, they are getting similar to Osimhen. And you know, that game against Madrid, and I always say that big games give more eyeballs.
Yeah.
If Villarreal, Valladolid, now let's Spanish people go watch that one. But when you have Villarreal, Real Madrid, okay, and Real Madrid are within the title race at the time, the whole world is watching, and you put up that kind of virtuoso performance that you put in, definitely it will get all the analysts, the statistician, the people who work analytics and everything say, okay, let's look at this guy carefully. And it's not even very expensive. The salary will not be too much for us. For an AC Milan that doesn't have all the money. So you look at that and say, it's a good deal on the face value. It's a great deal moving from Villarreal to AC Milan. But it depends on the AC Milan you're going to. So there was a great AC Milan. This AC Milan is not that great. But even at that, it's still a notch higher than Villarreal. They're going to play Champions League. They're going to try to get, I mean, last season they were in the semifinals, right? So they're going to try, semifinals against Inter Milan. Yeah. It was the semifinals. And they beat Napoli in the quarterfinals. So they were in the semifinals. And they're going to play. I don't know how far they will go next season. They are also one of those teams that are chasing for the title, whether they win it or not. I mean, last time they won it was 10 years before, then they won it. I don't know if they wait for another 10 years again. But it comes down to the game, the performance. Chukwueze is not your consistent performer. I like the boy as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Chukwueze as a person. It's funny, it's fun to hang around with, it's fun to talk to. He makes everybody laugh around him, happy. But would I, if I was a team coach or the football director of the football club, would I sign Chukwueze in my team? No. He doesn't know how to cross the ball. For all of his dazzling movement and all that, he played over almost 300 games. He had 31 assists. That's like 1 in every 10 games or so, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, sure.
And so I don't really think I can bank on his performance, you know, and the level is higher. So the expectation is going to be higher. If he doesn't live up to it, he's going to sit on the bench. I can only wish him well. I can only pray that, okay, he find a good coach the way Zlatan Ibrahimovic quickly met with Fabio Capello, and his career changed. The trajectory of his career, his game, his style of play, and everything changed. He meets a coach that sits him down and say, because the problem with Chukwueze is game. They are very basic problems that can be corrected. Okay, there are things you should know at academy level, but even though nobody is really telling him, or probably, you know, the way I look at it is, we'll go back to the Osimhen side again of everybody will give advice, I will do it in my mind. That's an average, say, as much as I love Osimhen, that's a very, very average, mundane, and stupid comment. The thing is, he should pray and stay successful. Because if he fails, that comment will come back and bite him very hard in the ass. Like, that's why he fails now. You know, they listen to people. You know, they hear what? That's why everybody will put forward. Those are things that you don't say. Okay, so I don't know if he also belongs to that. Then let's not forget that they are both partly Gen Z and millennials, right? Then they hear what? Then they listen to anybody. But the problem with his game, it's got speed. He can dribble. And then last time I talked to him, the Super Eagles can be talked about his injury and the scares and all that. If those injuries are gone, he can dribble, he can run. But timing is the job of a wide man. And I say that because that's a position I play. I know timing. Sometimes you don't need why somebody like Chukwueze's career died was he hogged the ball too much. Ganatroa also said the same thing. You know, was interviewed after I signed for AC Milan that Chukwueze's final ball is poor and he hogs the ball too much. When you hog the ball too much, you're more likely to get injured. Unless you're slick like Ronaldinho. If you're not slick like Ronaldinho, Messi, it's hard for you to stay injury free. So if you perfect the act of crossing the ball very well, and then knowing that when you are in the box, you don't cross anymore. You just cut back or you lay it on the plate. He would obviously become a very good player, like a fantastic player, if he just learned those two basics. And these are things that you can learn on the training ground. You can do it behind your house if you have a garden and all that. Yeah. But like they say, we'll go talk finish, then we'll do it in their mind.
I mean, I like the fact that, Milan wanted him. They went all out for him. They got their man. That shows that you are wanted, you're needed in the club. The manager purely spoke highly of him. And hopefully he gets to, tear this Serie A apart and, do so well for AC Milan. Some other top transfers that happened, Ola Aino to Nottingham Forest. It's been kind of a quiet guy lately, nothing around the side, but he's gone on to Nottingham Forest, and Calvin Bassey as well. I thought it was going to be Brighton, but it was Fulham at the end of the day. Then Kenneth Miro to Turkey. Looking at these three transfers quickly before we move on to the other talking points.
What's the first one?
Ola Aina to Nottingham Forest to join when he, Dennis.
I was happy for him.
People are already looking at Nottingham Forest now as the new Nigeria FC and all that. Funny enough, all the Nigerians I work for, they've gone. they've all gone. But what's your take on this?
Kalu, is Kalu,
Kalu.
Samuel Kalu is
the
the
one
one.
left, and there are disputes with Watford with his academy team. I think they've settled that now. But looking at these three transfers, what can you say about it?
For Ola, I was very happy. I mean, I've watched Ola, closely. I've just said that the boy is unlucky. It's one of the most technically gifted players, something close to an Ashley Cole, not Ashley Cole, but something close to an Ashley Cole kind of player. He's technically gifted, his ball control is excellent, his passes is good, but there is the baby in him. And sometimes in his game, you watch his game, there's the baby in him. And remember when we lost to Tunisia, and for all the massive blame on Maduka Okoye, which is Nigeria is a funny country, and we just leave the person to blame and put the blame on somebody else, and it is established that now you there at fault. Everybody just take it like that. The real culprit was Ola, but he's a fine boy, he's a loved guy and all that. If he can remove a little bit of play, and remember again, we go back to that Kenneth Omiro interview that you had when you asked him the question about scoring a goal, scoring an over, and picking a red card.
Yeah,
it said something at the end that then he was younger and youthful exuberant, but now he's matured, he would have known how to handle it. I think that Ola is the kind of guy that can grow into the form or the person that is meant to be, and learn from all of his past and do well. If you stay away from injuries and he play because he's a carefree kind of guy, he's a very free-spirited human being, he's a nice person. But you see, footballers are not judged on their niceties and all that. They are judged on the quality of the game that they play, how they put it out there, and how they do it consistently. If Trent Alexander-Arnold could be butchered after years of excellent performance, contribution to goals, one of the best, and then last season he was butchered the way he was butchered, tells you that the game is very, very unforgiving, unfair to everybody. And when people consider the amount of money you earn and every other person is suffering, everybody's just angry. That's what I've noticed. Sometimes when I make posts and I see people coming at me, it's like I'm not responsible for this guy's problem. It's the whole Balablu situation, the whole subsidy situation. I cannot understand. And sometimes too, I also let you know that if you have bad mark, I can also give it. Yeah, I'm not just I'm a club bagger. So I think in the case of it's a good deal because he just need a place to play regularly. It doesn't have the clout to say I must play for a big club. It just need a place to play regularly. And if the coach wants you, like you said, then you're going to be there. For Calvin Bassey, why I wanted him to stay one more season at Ajax, I'm thinking that Ajax could just go and win a title. Look likely that he would win a title with Ajax than coming to England to play for any club in England, whether it's Brighton, whether it's Fulham, and Calvin Bassey will not win a title with those clubs, and unless they put up a good performance. And then again, Fulham might just they are a yo-yo team. Now they've had a great season last season. We're looking at Mitrovic saying he's going on strike. He wants to go to Saudi Arabia. He's the only player that I've seen that's shown desperation to go to Saudi Arabia. He must also have very poor family members because I used to think it's an African team. Now he's the one that said he would not come back to training. Even their coach, had to struggle to turn down 40 million offer. And if they don't do well, they might fight relegation because Mitrovic meant a lot to their stay up last season. Their rise to the top. Well, FPA users, he was a point donor to almost everybody, just like Hilal. So I think for that, Calvin Bassey might just struggle. Any little mistake, they will not link it to Ajax and say, oh, it's not up to par because people will not start rooting at comments and criticism. But then if he finds his way, I think, again, it goes back to that thing that I told you earlier on when we were discussing. I said, as a football person, nothing I hate like a footballer coming to say I can play anywhere. And once you tell me that thing, if I'm a coach, I'm not going to sign you. What is your position? It's like when you want to employ people, say, what can you do so I can do anything? I don't want to employ you. I don't want. You can thief my things too. I don't feel employ you. I need to know that you are good at something and then you stick to it. Having said that, the problem that Calvin Bassey have is that there is this shifting. You play 3 games as a centre back, Then the next game again, you're playing as a left back because somebody is injured. And once that person comes back, remember that day you play left back, somebody played the center back. Probably your team go and win 5-0, and there's a clean sheet. And then you now say, okay, maybe we should try this guy. And then you're struggling. Then there's a confusion. But just have a position where you play and you're super regular in that position. It works for me. So that also could be a problem, a conundrum for him. But let's hope that everything works out well and he gets a permanent position and he gets a good run of games in that position without getting injured, without getting suspended, and then we'll find with him. For what's the last one that you mentioned?
Yeah, Kenneth to Turkey.
Kenneth told you
Talk spell.
that Turkey is the best place he's ever played in.
Yeah.
So there is emotion, there's love. That's why he got married. Some of his best friends are in Turkey. And again, his dream is to play in the Champions League. So Saudi Arabia was never going to work, right? Like he said, if we not play the Champions League, we're going to play the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so he wants to play Champions League. Maybe the club gives that look of they can qualify for the Champions League, and he goes and play, even if it is just one game, it's fine. Again, one thing with Kennedy is like he said, everywhere he's gone, he's played regularly. He's captain of Leganes. Leganes love him so much, you know, that he's one of the few persons. If you want to transfer a player to Leganes, they will first call Kenneth from Nigeria. If you want to take a player to Leganes, they will first call Kenneth. Kenneth, you know this player, you know, that kind of thing. So I think he's in a place where his heart has always been. Turkey is not one of the best countries for anybody because there is no job there. But for footballers, it's okay if you're a professional footballer with name and you're a star player, you know. So hate him or you like, it's a Nations Cup winner. Hate him or you like, you know, he gets all the invitation from every coach that have come to the national team, and everywhere he's gone, like he said, he's played. So let's see. I wouldn't say it's a bad move. It's a good one for him, for Kenneth. Kenneth is not a player you would be expecting that the Man City or Paris St Germain wants to look at the age where he is. Okay, yeah. And because he was playing in the second division, it's even worse. So I think it's good. I really don't think that Kenneth is as bad as a lot of people talk about him, but anything I say, he's your friend and you're backing him up, I don't think it's as bad. I mean, we saw the game against Egypt. The thing about Kenneth is when he's got a good game, everybody ignores it. Everybody pretend like he didn't do anything in that game. One bad game, Jesus Christ, everybody, they will laminate it and put it everywhere. And, you know, that's the thing about him. It's not fan love with people, and it's not the vocal type. He doesn't talk, he just on his own space.
All right, moving on the show. We're talking about Kenneth, and, you know, we put out a video that will lead us to our next talking points. A video of him and the skipper, Ahmed Musa, watching the Super Falcons, you know, that game against Ireland. Let's talk about the Super Falcons now. You know, both of them are in Turkey.
My girls.
So, you know, Super Falcons, they are the top of the town at the moment. They're making the whole world happy. You know, putting smiles to, you know, people's faces, especially after that win against co-host Australia. I mean, the whole world was watching it. You know, a game played 11 a.m. where you expect people to be busy and all that, but, you know, people were watching, and you know, they enjoyed the game. We won that game by 3-2. Of course, like you said, as that Oshara scored, you know, took her shirts off, and, you know, Twitter.
That's the best thing that's happened to this tournament.
You know, I don't know if you saw that take on Twitter about having a shirt that she's a Muslim, this and that, and all that.
I'm not a Muslim. See, I don't know how Muslim. I've never been a Muslim in my life. I don't know how it works, and I don't want to get involved in that conversation. Please don't put me. Yeah, Davido, we're not the same level. Davido can have Muslim conversation.
You will you take down that video?
Yes, the video was wrong because see, it's different from the Asisa to Shuala. So let's be fair now.
But he didn't put that video to offend anybody. To him, he was promoting his signing and all that. So
let me tell you this. You know that saying that everything in life is funny when it's not happening to you. Yeah, so nothing you do, if you shit for nylon and tramp over the fence and it goes splash on somebody's face, you didn't put it out to splash on somebody's face, but it happened. Would you apologize or you would not apologize? Good. So it's not like you did it. Now you've done it, and then the people in that religion have not said this is offensive to us. I happened to meet, I went to Alibaba's office the other day, and I met somebody who is head of corporate, who's head of a company that sponsors Davido. And her comment was, she's a European person. She said, so we're talking about something, and then the conversation just went into Big Brother, and I brought in sponsorship of the league. And everywhere I go now, I'm just training there. And just one way or the other side, man, we're not talking sponsorship right now. Davido is giving us serious problem. We are having issues. Everybody's attacking us to drop him. So those kind of things, you want to become a brand. I remember once I was prime time in Brilla, right? And at one point I was the only person who had a real sponsorship. The others were battered in the morning. Murphy was the market in the evening. And I did something that had nothing to do with anybody. It was my personal thing, exchange with a fan online. And you know me. And I'm not going to ever mature, reach the place, say I'm not going to clap back. If you insult me, I'm coming for you, your mama, your papa, your entire generation. God not go agree. I'm not ever mature. Pass that thing. And then it kind of like got to the sponsors. The munchie and sent it to the sponsors of my show. And then they called me. Like, oh, no, they called my chairman. And my chairman called me and like, oh, you have to take it out. You have to apologize. I said, chairman, I'm not going to apologize. This 8.7 million naira. I double dare them to withdraw it. This sponsor, I double dare them withdraw the sponsorship. Tomorrow morning, I'll bring another bet company. We haggled. And while they were doing that, I'd gone to talk to another bet company. And I brought a proposal for my chairman. That, listen, these guys want to take over the show. And they were willing to pay 12 million naira. What my chairman just did was send the proposal to them. They shut up. I won in that situation. You know what? I was dealing with one individual. If it was a religion, it's a sect, it's a group of people, I go bow down and worship. I would apologize. Because you stepped out of the line. The way of life of people, the culture of people, the tradition of people, it's gone past one individual. It's no longer two fighting. It's me fighting against an entire culture. No, you go apologize. If they take offense, they take offense. And, ripple effect could be. You cannot go and perform in certain areas. It stretches very far, wide. You can't perform in, like all those show in Dubai now. They say don't come again. Yeah. Saudi Arabia is a hot spot now. You say don't come and perform there. You start looking at your losses. Like, okay, for business purpose, let's not do this. Okay.
For sure, like she came out, she put out a post that, I don't know if you saw it, that her dad isn't happy with the celebration, but then again, life is a collection of moments. I mean, now he scored that crucial goal. You're not going to know what's entire body said. We just do something. A lot of people extraordinary. I understand what she said.
A lot of people don't know that when you score a goal, you don't know half the time. You don't know what you're doing. I agree that some celebrations like the Odio Gallo's putting his hand up like this have become a trademark. The Sue of Cristiano Ronaldo has become a trademark. Some celebration have become a trademark. Robbie Keane, the Irish guy who do the monkey flip and then shoot his gun. Some are the Alan Shearer's hands up, but there are certain goals you score in certain moments. I say Alan Shearer has been scoring goals for club, but the national team, it's not been easy. And then going into this tournament, the Super Falcons fought their way to this tournament. The Super Falcons were told that they were not going to achieve anything, that they were just going there to go and make the group and then come back. This team was sent to Australia in batches. Yeah. They're not sure of even collecting their money. They had to negotiate. FIFA had to step in and say, okay, we'll pay you guys your money and all that. Don't embarrass the tournament, because the brand of the tournament is bigger than your mundane issues with your FA. So let's fix our problem. Let's keep our image good. But the good thing was that as that was happening, it wasn't just a Nigerian team. The England national team was having their own issue with their FA. South African national team was having their issue. Well, everybody sent footballers to the World Cup. South Africa sent a choir, because South Africa is now more known for what they did in the dressing room, singing, wearing suits and wearing glasses. They almost wanted to reenact Sarafina. But that's a story for another day. And then you went into that game. The first game you got a knock. You really, Assistant Michelle has not really impressed people on the national team. Yeah, I don't know what she needs to do.
That talk keep on coming again.
She scored 30 goals. How many goals does Osimhen have again?
Yeah, Osimhen is not 30. I think
27, 26 goals. But he's a star boy. And then Assistant Michelle have 30 goals. For women football, she's the one that should retire. She's the one that she's not needed. She's the so there is a lot. Don't think for a minute that all of those comments that people put on social media, that people put everywhere, does not get to them. It does. If anybody tell you, say all those things, then they see them. Then they see them. The family members, they see them. You interviewed us as Umera. You heard what he said. These people see
the wife was the one even telling us
all the things. This one, she was emotional
Yeah.
when she was saying it. Choma, she was very, very emotional. She was saying that can they be arrested? Like, you cannot. Okay. But long and short, they see these things. They see you call them. Somebody just scored 20 goals in the league, highest goal scorer. Some people said she was scoring only tappings. Like stupid talk. And so, all our goals are tappings. All our goals are just easy goals. Is there any easy goal in football? Did she not run to be there? Even the goal she scored against Australia, somebody said it's defensive error. Like that angle that she was in to play the ball in, like it was very easy to put it in the net. So people have robbed her of her shine. The same girl who was nominated for African Footballer of the Year and her countrymen voted somebody else, said she wasn't good enough. That's the same person. So when she comes in and wears this national team jersey, you don't understand the emotions running on her. She's trying to validate her presence in the team. And that's a spontaneous reaction. Unless we're not trying to use robots to play football, I don't think that that's much of a problem. It would have been a problem if she wasn't wearing, sports bra.
Yeah.
But she had a sports bra.
She's not the first to celebrate like that as well.
Like some of the men that are complaining.
I saw one comment, my God.
Naturally, in their heart of heart, they are really happy. They wish that the Agbaluma was, orange size.
I don't know if I say this comment, I saw
something bigger.
I'm not going to say it.
No, they wish that, it wasn't Agbaluma that was there. That was something. The Fafus was really, fafuing. But they will not go on social media. People like to join the crowd and pretend like they have opinion. You shouldn't say like, who cares?
Man, shout out to that photographer that captured that moment. That picture was it.
I don't even nearly care. It
was everywhere. It was like somebody needs to frame that picture.
You loved it, right? You loved it, right? She has back.
Anyway, let's move.
No. Let's stay with it. Is she has back?
Let's move on.
I know we will move on. Just answer the question. You used to go and play an All-Star game. So I'm trying to add one-to-one and say, you don't really play All-Star game for people. You always go for Asisa to Shola. Is she your spec? Is there a plan?
What do you want me to say?
Just say the truth.
I like her. She's going to be the African Footballer of the Year.
No, wait. That's not what we're talking about. Is she your spec?
As a footballer, she is.
No. Your spec is not as a footballer. You are meant to like footballers because that's your job. Is she your spec? Assistant to Shola here, awesome here. Who would you choose?
Let's move on.
No. Let's answer this question. Let's balance scale. Who would you choose?
Maybe also should start playing football. Then we evaluate.
No. Leave football out of it. Your spec. Who you want to spend your life with?
Okay, let me see your song for now because as I'm sure she's
make lie. Ogu will kill you. Ogu will kill.
As I'm sure is not listening to us, but she's the one listening.
So if she was listening, Assistant Oshala is listening, but
we'll start that in the next All-Star game.
But you like that picture, Shala.
I love it. That picture is iconic.
I'm done.
Like just Google Azla Oshola, go on images, you see that picture.
And you love it. I like it. I like the fact that you say you love it. Oh God.
I love the raw, the how she. Yeah.
Did you ever use your 2 finger to enlarge it in your phone?
I didn't.
Touch it.
I did.
The sports bra, you didn't enlarge. You didn't try to check the two pointed granules.
I didn't.
Liars.
I didn't. But man, shout out to that Oshola. First woman to score in 3 World Cups.
Your father.
Recreating her goal from the last World Cup.
Get out. Let's move on.
She's everything. Let's hope she stays fit for the next game. But
wait, are we going to pretend like we're not going to talk about the NPFL?
No, we are coming. That's where we're going to wrap it up. But still on the Super Falcons because it's the World Cup. They're doing so well. The lowest ranked team in that group. Olympic champions, they're out. Australia was always. Tony Payne. I was listening to her post-match. She was saying that group was 10, like the group of death.
Yeah.
5 points from that group, unbeaten from 3 games, 2 draws, and a win. For you, who would you say? It's a team sport. Everybody has been playing their shift, but who would you say has been the standout, players for the Super Falcons a lot of Nigerians are, crushing on Alozie. I mean, she speaks well.
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
She's educated.
So educated, speaks so well. Got her footballing background. So well and all that. But who would you say has been the stand-up player for you for the Super Falcons? I won't say one.
Chiamaka Onadozie.
Captain of the side, yeah.
Chiamaka Onadozie. I've done well. As a matter of fact, when the Super Eagles are about to go to camp, she should identify as a man. She's better than all of the goalkeepers we have in the Super Eagles right now. She should identify. The word now is not easy. America have made the word easy. Just identify. Like me now, I'm broke. But I identify
as well. I saw from the
I identify as a billionaire. So it's just easy. But don't come and beg me money. Don't come to my DM and beg me money. That's when you will embarrass yourself. But identify as a billionaire. It's not a sin anymore. So even age cheating is no longer a sin. I just identify as 17. Even though I'm 45. It's identifying. Chiamaka Onadozie has been my best player. But having said that, I think that the entire team have come to the party. The two centre back is something that we've not had that in a while.
Yeah.
And
big call from Randal as well.
Yeah, and the way the fullbacks play reminds me of the days of Kylian Mbappe. The last time I've ever enjoyed the Falcons fullback, Kylian Mbappe was playing there. And and then again, the way Randal has selected his team, the two defensive midfielders that are holding the pivot position. Rashida Ajibade have also done a job where she's run every game she's played. Osinache Ohale, Uchenna. The question I was going to throw to anybody is, now that we've played 3 games, most likely we'll play England next. And European champions, anything is possible, but we'll play the Olympic champion, not saying, they didn't beat us. My question is, those people, Ukobi was the guy that did drop, right?
Yeah, that was dropped.
Those people who wanted to kill Randy Wardrobe, we had to show you, and I said I support the coach, and it was like I was being, I was stupid. Those people wanted to kill Randy Wardrobe. Are we missing Ukobi in this tournament? Just briefly, do you think we're missing her in this tournament?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. So the coach know what he was doing. I think the setup, the way the team has been, in football, we say coaches will tell you that no team can give 100% every game. But everybody, if you can give up to 65 to 75% in every game, a team will win championship, will win tournament, will make progress. And if you look at the team, it's almost like saying the attack is the weakest link of the team. But even at that, the positional discipline of the team, this is the most disciplined Nigerian team we've taken to any senior World Cup, male or female. Very disciplined, very composed, very organized, even under the worst pressure. You see that Australian game against Canada will not tell you how much pressure Nigeria have to wither in the last added time, that 11 minutes that was added. They're throwing those ball in. Previous Nigerian national team, hands will go up and touch the ball. Tackles will be coming in wrongly and would create penalties and tense moments. And then before you know it, the game will end in a draw, and we will now talk about how we were close, and then change the topic to referee robbers. The other time will now become the conversation. But this team was disciplined, they were focused, they know what they want, and they let all their problems behind. They kept it behind and focused on playing football. I think that I love everything about this team because everybody in their position was putting up above average performance. The goalkeeper is calm, composed. The defense, the entire defense line is fantastic. Whether it's Ashley Plumtree, who played for Nigeria just because she wanted to satisfy her grandfather. And I'm sure that the grandfather, whether he's alive or dead, I don't know, will be very happy wherever he is. And I don't say, come on, she could have played anywhere. She could have chosen to play for the US national team. She's good enough. She's that good. She could have also chosen not to play football. She's an A student, right? But she's chosen to play football and she's doing it well. I really want to know the story behind the 2-color boots, anyway, the white and black boots.
Yeah.
And I remember calling Modo, and Modo said, I'm in Australia, I didn't see it. How did you see it? I said, that's journalistic instinct. You always look for angles to story because you, first off, that's one thing I will give credit to Brilla for. Brilla will say, don't do the story that everybody is doing. When you wake up in the morning, look at all the story and imagine what is the angle that every other person come from. And then you come in with a different angle that make everybody like, wow, what's it like that? And so it just puts that instinct in me like, okay, when you look at this game, what are you going to see different from other people? And it's like, okay, this girl, she's wearing a white boot and a black boot. And I remember saying it in one WhatsApp group, and people had to go back and watch the game. Yeah. So people were be like, no, that's not true. That's okay, no worry. When you see it, you have to go back and watch it. Like, my point here is everybody has done well. And I like the way the coach have also managed the team, brought in the Onoma AB factor. So she doesn't just go there and be, hey, luxury player who just sits on the bench and not add value. Every time they need experience, command in the back, Onoma AB comes in and brings some stability. Just when we're complaining that on the gift is not playing, the game on the gift is chance to play against Australia in the second half. Everybody's talking about Para Nozena. We don't know issue will become the Amunike of the tournament against England and become the one, the scorpion that stings and give us a chance to go through. England is going to be very difficult. It's going to be tough because the pre-tournament favorite is the anointing from Europe. In 2014, it was I choose not to talk about 2002 because we got knocked out of the group stage. I'm talking of where we moved further. In what's that one again? In Brazil, 2014, it was France that knocked us out. So battling against European opposition have always been difficult, and the reason, and that's why I came up with that theory that Europeans are colonizing the rest of the world. The reason being that everybody tries to play like Europeans. And every time you try to be like somebody, you're always going to be second best to that person because you're waiting for the next step that they will make for you to copy. And because Africa never really find its reading of creating its own, finding its own voice. That's why I like what's happening in Burkina Faso and Niger, even though it's not football related. But I just like when Africa finds its voice. I don't know what's with what they're trying to say, but it's a different conversation. I think that if we find a way to play our own game and not try to copy Europeans, we just might stand up to them and we know. We'll see.
All right, someone just linked me to a tweet. You're talking about a different color of football boots. There's a tweet from Juliet Bawa. I don't know if you know what
I know the Ghanaian German.
Said that she asked Alozie about a different color of cleats that she was putting on, and she said it was a tribute to Mario Balotelli, who did the same at the 2014 FIFA World Cup. So
Mario Balotelli had
maybe she's doing it as a tribute. Maybe she loves Balotelli and she likes his style of play. Just to note, Alozie wasn't originally a fullback. She played as an attacker before she was being converted to a fullback. You can see that as an attacking play when she's playing that fullback position. Still on the World Cup, a build of information you can use. Like I said, so many good players to the pain. But she's completed the most take on so far.
Yeah, especially in that Australian game. She was everywhere.
She's everywhere. For AB, she's a veteran, one of the oldest in the World Cup. I think it's a record now. She's 40 years old. She's appearing as her 6th World Cup and becomes the oldest player to ever captain a team at the tournament. So that's for Onome AB. So
I think Mata has done 7 World Cup now.
No, she I think they're both on 6th. Yeah. So
really?
Yeah, she hasn't played so far. Okay, she came on in the last
game.
But
they
lost to France. They were now another good defender as well. And for Deborah Abiodun, the little Kante that played the first game.
Yeah.
It's been confirmed after a review. She's going to miss 3 games.
3 games.
And a lot of Nigerians are not happy about that. And, the normal talk of they want to hinder Africans and all that. They're talking about
the rules are the rules.
Good one for this exactly. I was telling someone yesterday it was a stamp. For VR, they saw it. It's always going to be a 3-month ban. But overall, I would like what the Super Falcons are doing. The England game against China comes at 11 o'clock. By then, we will know who our next opponent is going to be in the round of 16. Let's wrap up with the NPFL now. And we were talking about the NPFL, at off air
before we started.
Propel Sports coming in with their cameras and all that, how they are going to stream games for next season. We're waiting to see what the app will look like, where we're going to stream these games and all that. But 2 formats have been proposed to teams in the NPFL. We had the average season last time out. We heard that due to funds, it was imposed on the team. They had to play the average format. And at the end of the day, the Super 6 was wonderful. We also had fanfare and everything. So it's been proposed to the teams again. Do we go to the regular 38-game season or we go to the average season? Looking at this situation, where do we go from here? Where do you think the season should be? Should it be a regular season? Should it be another average season? And hopefully we get another Super 6 come the end of the season.
A couple of years ago, I answered this question erroneously and thinking I am correct that they should play regular season after all. That's what everybody's doing. Mm-hmm. It pays well to do business anyway. I think it gives you an extra experience. The knowledge of doing this business and knowing that, I've even had to ask for help from people that I normally wouldn't talk to. Shows how difficult Nigeria can be. And the fact that I did production last season means that I have access to both what's going on GTI side, NPFL side, the NFF. I've had like a long-standing relationship with them. Not been very beautiful, but I understand their position. The Minister of Sports as well. I've done all the back end. Then another thing is we just got into the shift of government. Almost every state have a new governor. Commissioners of sports have not even been announced. Commissioners of finances have not even been announced. Ministers are still going through. We just saw one who have 2 credits and went to university. That guy should be given a Guinness Book of Record. That should be given a record. But all of these things are happening, and the season is starting in 24 days from now. When the season ended last season, it was said, okay, they will play. When they played last season, it was play our pre-season to get the calendar normalized. And then after that, we will play the normal regular season. The reason for that is that there was the idea that there is enough window to get sponsors in. Sponsors will like it. But nobody saw subsidy removal. Nobody saw the inflation rates that we're going to deal with, the financial crisis that we're having right now. Nobody saw that. So there is actually, if you go to the Nigerian Stock Exchange right now, 93% of all Nigerian companies, the major companies in Nigeria, are in deficit for the very first time in our national history, the history of the stock exchange. They are all in deficit. So even shareholders are not getting returns on their investment. Everybody is in deficit for the very, very first time. So we have hitting an all-time low in terms of, no money. And we can blame NPFL for all we like, but it's a combination of decisions that we'll be making since after the Civil War that is not coming to bite us. There's always going to be a generation that will suffer it, and then there's another generation that will come and rescue. This might just be the rescue generation anyway. Having said that, so we couldn't get a sponsor. I'm part of the marketers. I have a contract to market the league. And I almost got a $20 million deal in. I told you the story. Yeah. The company in Sweden was willing to put in $20 million for 2 years as title sponsors of the league. For starters, their own office in Nigeria, had to advise them that, no, don't put your money in the league. And it's painful because if I brought that in, I have a 5%. 5% of $20 million means that we're moving office. We're going to our own facilities. We're changing equipment. The dream I have in my head, the podcast studio, the production studio, everything, the training center would have come to life. But the Nigerian office told them that the Nigerian league does not have engagement. That's not a lie anyway. That's a fact. And like I say, they always say in business, there are no sentiments in business. It is fact, numbers that really matters. Remember when I wanted to interview Sadio Mane and his team said, oh, they're interested in it because of our relationship with Bayern, but they cannot do interview with any YouTube channel that have less than 100,000 subscribers. And it didn't work. It's not like he's wicked. It's just standard. Cristiano Ronaldo, for instance, you have to be 2 million plus. Okay? That's why Speedo, that young man, is running all over the world. But, when I had to check, he's got a group of people behind him that are funding him and saying, do all of these things. When the money start coming in, you give us our money, which is fine. That is hard in Nigeria anyway. But the point here is the league does not have the numbers, the engagement. That's why we're not doing all this Twitter space, creating the magazine content that we're creating. I've invested close to like almost 10 million of my own money on that project. But the thing is, because we don't have those numbers, we're not able to bring in 20 million. Again, there's a Nigerian business that was interested also. Their tech people told them that we don't have the engagement. They are not guaranteed that they will make sales. So the 2 billion naira that they were supposed to put in the league, they held it back. That once we can guarantee them that they can make sales of a car manufacturing company, Innocent, let's not even throw it out. Let's not pretend like there is no name. Innocent Motors. But they said, okay, we don't have the numbers. I went to Anambra, sat down with the chairman, was very busy, was meeting with governors and the rest of them, but we still find space to talk, and said, okay, see, my tech people have looked at the proposal and told us that the league, for instance, last season, there was no single hashtag that trended. And we could not guarantee, we could not tell the average number of attenders in the stadium. Nobody's been able to answer that question. And then we could not also prove the disposable income, the cash, how much were made from gate tickets. So all of that affected the market rating of the league. And GTI have also gone to try to sell to everybody. Nothing is happening. Proper Sports have done their best to say, okay, this product, we're going to meet with some telecommunication company and help us push it. But it's more of a barter than a money exchange. And that content have to sell. As I'm speaking to you, as much as I'm very optimistic, I'm excited about it, I am still, a bit cautious because Proper Sports have not test run. They've not done anything. They said they've done it in other countries, but they've not done anything. They've not tried the sell. Whether this thing will sell, because this is not new. NPFL TV came. People got locked onto it, but the problem was nobody gave us real numbers of how much did you make, how did you distribute it to the clubs, and all that. GTI, on the other hand, is better because they are transparent. Financially, they explain details. Last season cost 1.8 billion. Anybody who follow the league know. And that is production costs, payment for referee, logistics of the league, and everything. 1.8 billion. Now, Progress Sports coming in means that money would reduce drastically because there will be no more production cost. Remember when we had to go to Just, that was 20 million. Gombe, the reason why we couldn't do Gombe production was because the money was 38 to 42 million and it didn't make sense. That's why we didn't go to Gombe. So if you look, all the productions were close by, and that's why we had 3 production companies. Team 33 was doing all the production that was around the West. I was, saddled with the ones in the north. Was until they couldn't do with Team 33 that I had to do Akure and Ibadan, right? So if you look at that, there is not enough money on the side of GTI to do that. Again, the TNFL that's supposed to raise money, Nigerians have not bought into it to the point where you have millions of Nigeria invested in it. Where's the money? They don't have the money. Then the clubs, as we speak, Enyimba is owing players 4-month salary, promise of 20 million for the winning of the title. They've not been given. Heartland is owing player, Rangers is owing player about 8-month salaries. Some other clubs, Rivers United are not owing. Some other clubs are not owing, but some clubs are owing. And if you're going to follow the CAF licensing, the licensing scheme, every club you must pay what you're owing previously before you start the new season. Yeah. So that's also going to be a problem. Last season we also saw how clubs struggled to go attend matches. Enyimba was going to matches on match day. They arrive on match day. They don't sleep in hotel. They play their match, and then immediately they start heading back to Aba. It wasn't easy. So the organizers are saying if we go the whole 9 yards of playing 38 games, it might be a problem. Again, for the commercialization of the league, we also think that the Super 6 should not just be a one-off. We should do it maybe over a period of time to grow the numbers that attract the sponsors. And then after that, we can now move on to go and play the regular season. It's a proposal. It's not been stamped as saying who gives it. The clubs are looking into it. The NFF and bought into it. So I said, okay, I think it's a good idea. Let's try it. Okay. And the NPFL, which formerly was the IMC, Elegole and Co, are also looking at it and saying, okay, let's judge with the clubs and then come out. Everybody would definitely not agree. Last season, Rivers United did not support the Super 6, the Bridge League. But I mean, they came here, they saw, they didn't conquer, but it was exciting. So as it is right now, we're waiting. Probably this week, they would have that discussion, that conversation. They'll come to an agreement and decide. But between now and the start of the season, let's say a sponsor comes and there's $5 million on the table from any sponsor, or even $3 million on the table from any sponsor, the season will start. Will run its full course. But then again, what the organizers are saying is we're afraid that clubs cannot, because whatever money comes in, it is 45% that goes to the clubs, and then the other is used to run the league administration. Everybody's afraid that what if we get to a point where some clubs cannot honor their matches? This is going to be a problem. So the proposal says, let's play 30 games instead of 38 games in the regular season. So it's not going to be full home and away. It's going to be, you will play some games home, some opposition home, you will not play them away. Some you will play away, you will not play them home, to balance the whole thing. And once you get to game 30, the top 6 will go and play Super 6 in a predetermined destination. Might be Lagos, might be Benin, might be anywhere where the grass is good, and then we'll see how it goes. But for now, that's the proposal on the table. 2 things, you get $10 million coming now, we'll play full season. If you get maybe less than $3 million coming, it's going to be average. That's the way it is.
So based on sponsors coming in, the next couple of days, that's where it lies.
Sponsors are not guaranteed. Have we sent proposal? Personally, me and my guy, we sent proposal to about 38 different companies. There is not one that has said, oh, we're not interested. But you see, when you take a sponsorship and you say you agree to do it, you will still have to go back to your board and tell them the reason why this money should be invested in this business. So they have not been able to have the numbers to do it. And you can't lie about league numbers. It's like pregnancy. It will show. You can't lie. You can't cook up numbers from anywhere. The questions that everybody that will ask is, okay, how many supporters does Rangers have? How many does Enyimba have? Rivers United, Sporting Lagos. You have to. How many? Okay, so there's a kit manufacturing company that's supposed to come in and sponsor and make certain demand. They are asking what is the sales number of all the club in terms of their jerseys. Only Bendel Insurance and Sporting Lagos, who just gave promotion, could give you that numbers, valid numbers. Bendel Insurance have sold over 56,000 jerseys at 20,000 naira per jersey. As much as people say it's too expensive, they've made the highest sales. Anybody does look like they are changing to Puma also from Joma. I don't know. I saw one jersey, one picture. It was Puma that's on it. I don't know if they changed. INC is gone. People believe that INC is getting his own commission from that Joma, so they want to move to something else. Kanawako is coming with all the. I hope that they get the money. So the thing here is, if those money comes in, then we full league. But if those money doesn't come in, take for instance, I'm saddled with the responsibility to do news update from the 20 clubs per season. 20 reporters, just 20 reporters, so no producers and the rest, is 15 million. If that's like just those small reporters you hear people here. Let's say Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, it's 15 million. If you had production cost, like you want to turn it into a video, you have the production cost, so it's 20 to 25 million naira. That's like the most minute thing for one season. So all the things that comes in, referees, now you're going to increase your referees' pay from last season to a little bit of, because of the contract that they have, you're getting about 10 or so percent or 7.5% increase. So all of that, stretches into more money, more spend. Unfortunately, that money is not available right now. And the way it is, government does not also have a trunk up money that you can say, okay, let's go and borrow from government. Because if you're going to borrow, you have to guarantee, how do you pay back the money?
Yeah.
Government money that they've saved from subsidy is going to go into farming, infrastructure, road, network, school, healthcare. Government is not going to put money in sports, not because they don't like sports, but the money no day. There's a long holiday now. I would have loved my children to go on vacation. The money no day. Would I send them on vacation? No. Do I hate my children? No, I love them, but there's no money. That's the same thing, because you have to look at yourself before you look at government. That's the same thing with government. Government is prioritizing at the very best. I know that there's still corruption in the system, because how they nominated the guy who have just 2 results. I know I'm trying to avoid all this stuff, but they just creep into my head. Okay, those are the bad side of it that you see. But I love the speech of the president. I didn't vote for him, but it's my president now. Until the court decide and something changes, he's my president. I want him to do well, because if he does well, it works well for me. I hate the fact that I'm buying a gallon of 25 liters of fuel for 17,500. I hate it, because it shocks me. It kills me completely. But I have to. Business have to grow. To do a 1 hour show, people don't know how much it costs you. It's not like, oh, people are watching and then they're giving you money. No, you're not getting money out of it. So it's crazy. But that's the same thing with the league. So if they're able to get, that's not today. If we are able to get sponsorship, why not? We'll play full league. But from here, I'm sitting now. I'm telling you, on the 25th, when the league starts, it's not going to be full league.
Anyways, let the league just keep. We can't wait for football to be back. We don't want the banters.
I can't wait.
That have been happening.
Even European football that I'm trying not to watch. This time I won't watch. I won't watch because I want to bet again. I want to resume betting again. I mean, he put some good money in my pocket.
Yeah, we know the World Cup is on, but we want to see club football. And when I say club football, I'm including the NPFL and everything. Not forgetting, amidst these 2 proposals, there's also this Mobosi is back up in the middle. That's going to come up.
That team is not. October. No, that October thing is not going to work.
So
I'm not sure it's going to work.
Why do you think it's not going to work?
Because once the season starts, you cannot have a preseason or a friendly tournament. It's not going to work because you're playing 8 teams. So what are the other teams in the league going to do? They're just going to sit idle and watch you do your 2 or 3 weeks program. It's not going to work. I think somewhere those guys should also think, and in the love Nigeria, I like the money that they're bringing.
It's supposed to be played in this August.
Yes, but they didn't get their act together, so they moved it forward. The league is not going to change its date. It's going to start. They should wait for mid-season break. There's a mid-season break that will be, part of the league. They should wait for that mid-season break and then play there. I don't know, Nigeria, anything is possible, but I think it's going to be complicated, very complicated. And let me make a very straight apology to everybody who's dropped comment on, YouTube, and Instagram. I see all the comments. Maduka, Austin, you've been the star of the show today. Lord Mayor, Divine Tokeye, everybody. I've seen it. Ugochukwu, watching Emelu, I've seen all of that. Stanley. But the thing is, on Tuesdays, when we get engaged like this, we don't do too much of the comment because that could take like a whole 30 minutes of the show. And we've even extended additional 25 minutes on the show today because we needed to touch on this topic. Tomorrow, I'll read all of your comments. Please bear with us. It's there. I would go back when I go and rewatch because that's what I do every day. I'll go and rewatch and read all the comments for myself, to understand it. But please do well if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel. Do well to subscribe. Help us to grow because this is our part of the system. If it doesn't grow well, we can't afford certain shows that we want to do. Take for instance the around the NPFL that we spend all this money to put together. We're not seeing the numbers, and in business, if the numbers are not making sense, you're going to shut down. I'm not going to put another 10 million. Find 10 million from somewhere and then go and lump it up. My wife is looking at me like, oh, look at what you went and travel around Nigeria, risk yourself, travel by road, by air, stay in different hotel. Look at the numbers that it's doing. If you are giving me that money, I know what I'll do with it in my business. She says that to me. Might not be exciting, but what she's saying is the truth.
Yeah.
Like it or not, it's the truth. Again, now looking back, when you do that kind of content, you're not even getting up to 300 views, and then you use your phone to record one, silly moments after Super Falcons game, and you're getting 8K views. You always try to tell yourself, what do people really like? What do they really want? You're going to kill yourself for the league. Am I motivated to do more for the league? I'm not, because there's no money, okay? But, we keep doing this thing because we love our country, and it's a country that I've chosen to stay. I'm not planning to jackpot, so I'm going to be here. But that said, guys, one good thing you guys can do for us to encourage us in doing this work that we do is help us get more subscribers, more views, more comments, and somewhere along the line, it becomes a money spinner. That money goes back again as an investment to pay workers, to pay the production crew that goes out there to produce the best of content that we can always put out there to promote our league and see the league become successful. I do believe that the league is a $5 billion industry, but everything must work in tandem for that 5 billion to be attended.
People at the helm need to believe as well.
I think the people at the ends believe right now. It's the people running the clubs, some, not all the clubs, some of the clubs that I think don't even have an idea, doesn't have an inkling as to what really the business of the game is. And it takes time, it takes learning. Not everything is just something you just understand. You need to learn. T.D. Jakes in his book, Reposition Yourself, said, if people know better, they'll do better. So it takes knowledge. There's a very big knowledge gap. When you discuss Nigerian football, you will understand the knowledge gap. Like, let me give you a very vintage example that everybody shout about. 90% of Nigerians believe that everybody that runs the NFF is corrupt, that they are eating players' money and all that. But that's not true. That is absolutely not true. It's not even possible. You know why? Your national budget for sport, and I keep saying this in
you always say that.
I'm standing there like a broken record. But you know the funny thing, there's nobody that have come out to say that for your line. Your national budget for youth and sports, and especially those people who are in abroad, who always like, if I give you this money, this is what do you do with the money? Ask those countries where you did how their government they fund sports. Your national budget, 98% goes to NYSC. How do you use 2% to run sports? That's football, basketball, wrestling, boxing, swimming, badminton, everything. How do you use 2% of that budget? That's not your federal budget, too. It's the budget for the Ministry for Youth and Sports. So that alone puts you in deficit every time. So it means that when the FIFA money comes, you're going to use it to go play qualifiers. You're going to use it to pay for hotels. You're going to use it, they call basic bare necessities. You start taking care of your essentials. So at the end of the day, people say, FIFA give you $5 million. $5 million can build 2 stadiums in a year. Yes. And when we build the 2 stadiums, I will not go, we'll not qualify for World Cup. Would you not keep the people in the FA? We'll not play qualifiers. They walk us over. Would you not keep people there? What Nigeria versus Sierra Leone in Liberia, the chartered flight that took us to that place and back, 300 million naira. So play that whole idea of they give you 1 billion. Play 3 games. Is that money not already gone? That's not hotel bills. That's not allowances. And you know the funny thing, all this one they are owing is they are owing. When they pay them, they keep quiet. You don't hear that they pay them. The backlog that Guso met is cleared like 50% already. The whole money that the Buhari government was owing the NFF, they get a 1.3 billion when they were leaving in May. That's like 2 years backlog. And sometimes this money that they are giving you, they don't come in one full trench. They come in piecemeal. Yeah. Your money for the year is 900 million, for instance. They give you 250 today, you write down. By the time you get the other one, it's like 8 months from now. So it's sometimes hard to plan and to do projects. So when people say they're corrupt, it's because of the information that the regular everyday media are fed people in the streets. I'm not saying that it means that everybody is clean, but what I'm saying is there is no opportunity for the corruption. That's what I'm saying. You have to have an opportunity for corruption to happen. This is not like CBN where you can print money. There's no opportunity to steal because every time money comes in, what is taking it is already gone. It's like when you have a credit card. Before you do anything, as money enters, they don't debit you from the source. You're not going to be able to say, I shall change them. It didn't happen. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the way it is. Until we have major sponsorship, big money deals coming in, it's going to be hard. EPL too, the same thing. If they take away those big money deals, the league will suffer. Women football in England just now, they don't get sponsorship. You know, she said their guys almost go on strike. Yeah. That's a country that everything is settled. So sometimes we should look at all of that, but with the same narrative. They're corrupt, they're stealing money. There's nobody that have been in the FA that will not call corrupt. Just like the way Nigerians always think that every coach is not good enough. There are circumstances that is making things not to work. But we forget that. Take this from the wardrobe. I saw one podcast, this our half Nigeria, half abroad people. Once they start talking on those that small 2.5 people podcasts, like people don't get sense, say the NFF, they didn't support. Randal wardrobe in the history of Nigerian women football is the most supported coach ever. Played the most number of friendly matches by any coach since 1991 that we got into women football. So when you say they don't support, we're not going to do what US is doing. We're not going to do what England is doing. We're not going to do what Norway, China, Japan, Denmark, Sweden are doing. We're going to do what we have the capacity to do. Like the example I gave. My children, some of their classmates now, they're abroad. They Paris, they New York, they Dubai. I would have loved for them to go. But I see them there and say, Daddy cannot afford it. Daddy's not pretending about it. You have light every day, right? You have internet, right? You have some of the basic necessities you have. That's what Daddy can afford. Live with it. Anything aside that for now, it's not happening. And we have to agree. Maybe in our sports, communication should be there. But again, the NFL go and tell the world that the federal government is not giving them money. Federal government will shut down and not give them again. So I say, try to embarrass the government. Everything is eye service in Nigeria. It's a long shot anyway, man. Let's pack our bags and get out of this.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on the show. It's been wonderful. Different talking points. I mean, you say time flies when you're having fun. But don't forget, the fun is still there. Stick around in the next half an hour for the Nigerian GPS or more. A lot of transfer stories. The Belgian League is back. Orban, continue from where it left off. Stick around for more.
Wait. Before you start your Nigerian Players GPS show, I just want to know, Gift Orban, is it not? No. Let's decide. We've not decided. We don't know where country he's from. You're always using him on Nigerian Players GPS show, but sometimes when you want to talk to him, they tell you he's from Benin Republic.
Togo,
it's from Togo, sorry. And then some other times, for hype's sake, he's Nigerian. Where's he really from?
Well, he grew up in Nigeria. He had Nigerian roots. His mom's Togolese, and if you listen to him, he's exactly. His French is really deep. He hardly speaks. His English is not straight. That tells you that he's more. But from the player himself, like he farms Nigeria more. Like
who would farms Nigeria? Exactly. Ghanaians even farm Nigeria.
If Togo come, Nigeria come. Nigeria pick. So that's why we just have to. We are waiting for that.
Put it on the edge, right?
Yeah, on the edge. He was invited to the 23s, but we didn't honor the invitation because he came late. So we just have to, still put him as a Nigerian and all that.
All right, no problem. Guys, thank you very much for staying with us. Those guys on YouTube, you guys are loyal, Sha. God bless you. Those guys on Instagram as well. And those guys listening on the app and on the website, God bless you so much for being with us. Thank you very much. But I bet you there's no places you get this much accurate analysis and fun all put together at the same time. So stick with us on Elegote TV and radio. We promise to do better and improve as we go. But please do to subscribe if you've not subscribed, and convince your friends to come and subscribe here because we make sports